Well, hello and welcome to another SOAR and Workplace AI influencer event. And today we have a very special guest with us. We have George Trachlis, who is a renowned leadership expert and best-selling author and founder of the Lean Leadership Institute. With over 25 years of experience transforming organizations through lean methodologies, George has guided Fortune 500 companies and startups alike toward operational excellence, helping his clients eliminate waste and build sustainable leadership practices. As North America's foremost authority on the Harada Method, recognized by the Japanese Union of Scientists and Engineers as the world's best system for coaching and day-to-day management, George has brought this powerful Japanese methodology to Western business. This is the same method used by the baseball phenomenon. How do you say his name, George?
Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, or Shohei.
I screw it up every time.
Yeah, it's all good.
To become one of the world's greatest talents. George's global impact includes his online principles of lean thinking course, which has educated over 100,000 students across 60 countries. His best-selling book, OEM Principles of Lean Thinking, and recent innovative release, Captain Obvious, Success is a Skill Number One, continues to influence leaders worldwide. He has developed the Harada app, available on both iOS and Android, featuring his signature 17-day challenge, designed to help individuals discover and achieve meaningful goals. He is a trusted collaborator of the Toyota Way author Dr. Jeffrey K. Liker and mentored by Godfather of Lean, Norman Bodek. George combines Eastern and Western business philosophies into political frameworks leaders can implement immediately. His engaging presentation style and ability to simplify complex concepts makes him a sought-after speaker who delivers not just theory, but actionable wisdom that creates lasting change. George, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Thomas. That was awesome. Great.
Yeah,
intro.
well, listen, where are we speaking to you from today?
Okay, I'm in Balmoral, Canada, which is north of Winnipeg.
Right.
On a little ranch of 40 acres with 3 horses. So I got too much land and not enough horses. So my wife's gonna see if she can make me more poor.
Wow. Wow, that must be a lot of fun then.
It is. It's great.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, let's get right into it, George. Let's talk about what it is you are bringing. And you've been doing this for years and years, and I've known you for many, many years. And what an amazing influencer you've become in the field as it relates to lean in general, but specifically as it relates to the areas that you focus on. And we'll have to talk about your upcoming event in Santorini and all of those good things. But before we get there, why don't I hand it over to you and you can begin giving us an overview?
Absolutely. All right. So my journey started in 1994. So that's 31 years ago, where
Right.
I was asked to implement what was called total quality management and just in time at a plant in Pembina, North Dakota. So I got the bug. I don't know about whoever's listening, but if they get the bug, it's hard to go back to a full-time job where you're kind of like a farmer, day in, day out, doing the same thing. It's very difficult. I wanted change. I wanted to see people improve in that way. I wanted process improvement. I wanted people improvement. I wanted all these things on a daily basis because I caught the bug. And then about 15 years ago or 14 years ago, Norman Bodek, the godfather of lean, goes on LinkedIn. He finds one of my consultants, and then I connect with him. But he goes on LinkedIn and he says, I've got the solution to everybody's lean problem. It's the people side of lean. It's the Harada Method. And how he said it was, this is the world's best system on day-to-day management. And I thought, okay, I better learn about this. I don't know what's coming in the future, but I better learn about this. This is something that really interests me. So next thing you know, here we are today, and it's the same thing. About a year ago, one of my colleagues from Magellan Aerospace, where I had a full-time job as a director of continuous improvement, he says to me, George, I was asked to put a course on AI. And what I know now, presidents should jump into this right away. From what I know now, every president of every company should get onto this topic right now before it's too late. And I've heard since that AI is the now biggest thing, or it's going to be bigger than the internet. Let's put it that way. I imagine when the internet came, I was in university. I think it was 1989. I was in university, and I didn't find the internet a big thing. I didn't see the big picture, right? Because, if I want to talk to somebody in Saskatchewan or somewhere else, why don't I just pick up the phone and call them? I didn't see the big thing about typing something and it goes across. I didn't get the big picture. So hopefully everybody here gets a glimpse of the big picture with AI. And I'll talk a little bit about the Harada Method as well. Okay? So first thing I'm going to ask the group is, what is your goal? Do you have a strong goal? If you're a president of a company, do you want to achieve something great this year? What is it? So type that into the chat, and then Thomas will kind of weed you out, because halfway through my presentation, I'm going to be asking for an example, and I'm going to show you an example of what AI can do. Okay, so let me share my screen. Is my screen being shared right now?
Yes, it is. No, I don't think it is, actually.
No, okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so what's your goal? One of my goals as of 15 years ago was to be the best coach in the world. And so I went on LinkedIn at that time. I changed my profile from George Strachilis to best coach. That's why I put it there. It's a reminder for me, do everything you can to be the best coach you can be for others. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about the Harada Method. I'm going to also talk a little bit about artificial intelligence, and why a little bit is because I've got a course in the Harada app, and it was done by David O'Connor, who's the gentleman I was telling you about. And so go into the Harada app, do the course. It's only an hour, and it's free. You don't have to do anything other than log in to the app. Okay, let's get started. So the Harada Method. I'm going to say this. I wanted specifically to use AI for this presentation. I only have 3 slides in here that are not AI produced. And I'll tell you which ones they are. This is AI produced. I said, tell me about the Harada Method, do a slide. And it came out with this right away, which is pretty amazing. So let's talk about the Harada Method. The book is The Spirit of Self-Reliance, which means you can do it. Don't hesitate. You could do what it is you need to do. Take on that attitude. And there are characteristics of somebody who is self-reliant. One of the biggest ones, when I heard this, I thought, that's pretty amazing, is make sure your cup is, and you fill in the blank, everybody's going to say half full. No, make sure your cup is right side up, so it can be filled. It should always be empty. You should always be listening. You should always be willing to take in more information, especially as it relates to your goal. So goal setting is key. Now, if I said to you, what is lean? I've done this for many people in many industries. I get a different answer all the time. So one of the definitions of lean for me is the least wasteful way to accomplish your goal and sustain it. Wow. Least wasteful way. So I'm going to tell you that the Harada Method represents that. It's about goal setting. It's about you doing it yourself. It's about skill building. About 10 years ago, I said, what kind of skills do I need for the future? And I said, look, I need to know how to create videos. So I do that. I need to know how to use, Photoshop. So I made a list of things I need to know how to use. Today, every company should need to know AI. So put that on your skill building list right now. And continuous improvement. Of course, it's about continuous improvement, but you got to sustain your improvements. So let's talk a little bit about continuous improvement and artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? Now, if we have time, I'm going to share how I created these slides so you're aware of how that happens. Sometimes AI makes a mistake, and I'll share that with you. Like, for example, pattern recognition is listed twice here. Okay, so I know this. What is artificial intelligence? It's a big group. Within artificial intelligence, there's a category called machine learning. Within machine learning, there's a category called deep learning. Now, you can learn all this stuff about artificial intelligence, but it's basically data-driven insights. I remember hearing this, and then David O'Connor talked about it in his webinar, which is in the app, that artificial intelligence was given scans for breast cancer, and it found women with breast cancer that the doctors did not find. It was the early stages. So pretty amazing that artificial intelligence can do this. Automation and efficiency, maintenance in a plant, pattern recognition, all sorts of different patterns. And then adaptive learning. What's adaptive learning? It means that if I upload my book, the book, the Harada Method, the spirit of self-reliance, it's learning about the book. I'm asking questions. I'm correcting it. It's learning about the correction, and we're moving forward. So pretty amazing that the adaptive learning part is going to be with you. The more you correct it, the more it learns. And I'll show you an example of it being way off, and I haven't corrected it yet, but I'll show you that example later on. Okay, the comparison between Harada Method and artificial intelligence, as I was doing this research, which started yesterday, and through the end of the day and today, I realized that there was one thing they both had in common. And one of those things was Moore's Law. In Moore's Law, 1965, Gordon Moore, who set up and he became the founder of Intel, said the number of transistors on a chip will double every 2 years. And if you look at the old chip from the Apollo program to one of today's chips, you'll see that the 4004 chip, which started it all off in 1971, has improved everything. It's now used everywhere. So this is a pretty amazing law. It's a law, which means it happens. Now, here's something that when I went to Japan, I learned. Now, everybody open up or get a calculator ready, because I'm going to ask you to do some math. So if you have a calculator on your phone, open it up. When I went to Japan, they said, look, if you just ask your people to make a 0.1% improvement every day, just a 0.1%, the smallest improvement every day, within 2 years, you will double your productivity. That's almost like Moore's Law, right? You're going to double your productivity within 2 years. That means within 3 years, what is it going to be? So if somebody does the math, 1.001 to the power of 365, 365 being the number of days, what's the number? Thomas, you got it?
No, I don't. Hang on.
Okay, that's okay. I'll give you the number. Everybody, you should have your calculators open. It's 1.44. So you got 44% more productivity within 1 year. But you continue that 2 years, the number is 730. 365 times 2 is 730. 1.001 to the power of 730 is 2. So you doubled your productivity. That's what we're trying to accomplish in lean. Lean being continuous improvement, the little incremental changes. We're trying to double productivity every 2 years. So 4 years from now should be 4 times the productivity. 6 years from now should be 8 times the productivity. That's the math. But is that happening in manufacturing? Is that happening in education? Is that happening in, IT companies? Is it happening around the world? The answer is no. That's not the productivity number. And I'm suggesting that using the Harada method will get you there. And there's a reason for that. It's because every day, everybody, everywhere is asked to reflect on the day and make a little improvement. Even in the app, I created something called the 8 Wastes Challenge. There you go. And I'm asking people to go in there, give me 50 things that you are grateful for. Put pictures up so we get to know you. And then fill out a card every day if you can. If not, at least once a week. And then post it. So this is like a little challenge for everybody because we want to get to this point in manufacturing, in education, whatever company or organization you're in. Any little improvement. The last time I did this was with Pandora, one of my clients. Pandora, the largest online jewelry store. They loved it so much, they took it on, they made it theirs. Right? They've got
George,
now an internal thing. Yeah.
George, can you give us an example of the kind of daily improvements that we're talking about so people can relate to their own behaviors?
I did a video of this. But as an example, the video was, I asked one of my students, okay, tell me, I wanted to get the first one done. The first one's the hardest, right?
Yeah.
So tell me what you did to improve. He says, I bought a backpack. Okay, but that's the improvement. You bought a backpack. That's what you did about it. What was the problem? And he says, the problem was I was waiting in line to use the printer at my client's. And I asked him to identify what kind of waste that was. Is it a waste of waiting, whatever? He said over processing. So we've got the 8 wastes identified. I've got posters for everybody on the 8 wastes. So identify the waste. That's the challenge. And then do something about it. And then tell me the effect. So his was over processing. I'm waiting to print something. It's taking way too long. I bought a new backpack. And why? Because he bought a printer with it. Now he no longer has to wait to print. And the printer fits in the backpack. That was his example. And I said, that's awesome. And I posted that up in our private LinkedIn group. There's going to be many examples. If I took Pandora's mural, there'd be 1,000 examples of what they did. They're little incremental improvements. So go ahead and join the challenge, right? Now, I asked myself this question. If you're supposed to double your productivity, and I'm suggesting the Harada method will get you there, very few systems will get you there. The Harada method is definitely one. What will it do if you add AI to what you're doing? And so I asked my AI robot, I said, tell me about AI and this equation, the 0.1% improvement. What should I get if I use AI consistently in what I'm doing? And they suggested you should get a 0.3% improvement, right? So this is interesting because you combine the Harada method and AI. In the first year, you can get 3 times your productivity. And I can tell you right now, this is true. If I got way more using AI, that's why I wanted to share how I created this PowerPoint. So by year 2, here's a skill testing question. Everybody type in. And then Thomas, you could tell me what you get. By year 2, what should the number be? I'm going to wait for an answer. Year 1, it's 3x. What's year 2?
$109.5.
Well, if you got 3 times the productivity in year 1, it's not going to go down. Every year you get 3 times the productivity. So what's year 2?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so you do 0.003 to the power of 730 because there's 730 days. So what's year 2?
.219.
0.219. No. It should be 1.003. If you went 0.003, I can see it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm in sales.
That's okay. You keep on selling like that. Keep it low and everybody will buy.
That's right.
So year 2, it just goes to show you that year 1, if it's 3x, every year you get 3 times the productivity. By year 2, you should be at 9x.
Right.
By year 3, you should be at 27x. There are companies today using AI getting those numbers. They've eliminated, and this is the problem, they've eliminated people doing redundant, repeatable, and sometimes even knowledge-driven tasks. And they're using AI to do all that. So what are they going to do with the people? Big question mark. Okay, what are they going to do with the people? Because they should be getting 27 times their productivity in 3 years. Okay, so that's the connection. Now I'm going to tell you about what I believe. There was a webinar, seminar that I went to, and my coach, Norman Bodek, the godfather of lean, was there. He was doing a keynote to everyone in the audience. And he was saying, look, the Harada Method's great. And this is like 12 years ago, 13 years ago. The Harada Method's great, but even George, who's a certified coach, is not doing it right. And I'm in the audience. I'm saying, why would you say that in front of, X number of people? Why would you do that? He says he's not using a coach. Then I thought, well, why is it the spirit of self-reliance? And you got to use a coach. That was my question. And so in sports, you use a coach. There's nothing like a high-powered sports athlete that does not use a coach. You use a coach. Why don't we do it in business? So I started using a coach. I had to train my coach on how to coach me in the Harada Method because there was nobody out there. Today, I'm lucky. I've got Kyle Romaniak. He's a coach. I've got another gentleman by the name of Raj Pathak. He's a coach. Raj went out to a client, and that client was a young network of manufacturing professionals, young by young, under 30, I think. And he was trying to suggest the Harada Method is the thing to do. And they said, why? Explain it to us. And Raj was saying it's because of the forms. When you look at problem solving, when you do this, you need the Harada Method. When you do this, but he missed the point. And when I joined the meeting, I joined near the end, Raj was like, amazing. What you did for me, Kyle, is you just cut 5 years out of my learning curve. Because we have Kyle, who's a marketing expert, who's talking to somebody who's a problem-solving expert, and we're learning from each other, both certified coaches. So the summary I get from it coming near the end, it's going from transaction to transformation. That's what the Harada Method does. And with our certified coaches, depending on the coach, we have the haradamethod.com and /coaches. That's where you find certified coaches. That's what a coach does. They take years off your learning. So can you imagine my definition of lean, which is the least wasteful way to achieve your goal? When a coach talks to you, asks you questions, and you realize the goal you're shooting for isn't the right goal for you. It should be this goal. Well, what kind of productivity improvement is that? To me, life is short. Anybody that's on this call that's thinking life is short, now's the time to go do like the 17-day challenge, because all it does is prepare your mind for the Harada Method. It gets you to pick a strong goal. My goal's been there for 15 years, to be the best coach in the world. That's what my goal has been. I haven't changed it. It's that strong. During the hard times, even when I'm not making much money, I'm thinking, no, my goal is to be the best coach. I'm going to stick with it, right? It'll get you to persevere through those times. So this is just a visual, but the point is, you got to connect with your customer. I think that's what Kyle's connection was. So what are their challenges? If you don't understand them, what's the point in telling them how it worked for you? Okay, here's a picture of Shohei Ohtani, and this is the story arc. Guess what? In Kyle Romaniak's repertoire, he's got the story arc. He's got the open window 64 chart, which you'll be introduced to right away. He's got a new book out called Embark, so go ahead and pick up his book. The tools are there to be used, but the coach is invaluable. Okay, your dream is your starting point. So here's where I ask, what's your dream? What's a good goal for you 1 year out? And I want to use this as an example. And Thomas, you and I did this. But what is an open window 64 chart? If you look at Shohei Ohtani, again, AI. Here's two of the pictures that are real. Top right, that's my audience at Owls. Owls was the Worldwide Leadership Summit, Operational Worldwide Leadership Summit for a company called Cadent. And there are several companies. I had several walls. This is one of the walls where I used the open window 64 chart. In the bottom right corner, when Shohei Ohtani was 15 years old, he created this open window 64 chart. And it was basically to be the number one draft pick. And around that, I even had to change the chart. But there's physical, there's control, there's precision. He was asked to create his own dream. Mr. Takashi Harada says you should do this in 32 minutes. Okay, so this is just a general idea of your dream, but more like a goal. By when, a year from now, 5 years from now, a goal, and you put it in the present tense as if you've achieved it. And then you get 8 areas and 8 tasks per area. The grid for this is 9 by 9. You'll notice there's 64 around the outside, and in the middle, you got another 64 tasks, 8 areas. What's that? 72, and then you got another 9. It's an 81 grid chart. So they call this also an 81 box success chart. So let's create a success chart for somebody. Do you have an example of a person who wants to go through this? So this is a good time. This is yours, Thomas. We did one, by the way, and for anybody that doesn't know, after you create this, you just put a line from the top right to the bottom left saying you did something, and you complete this. And when you complete it, the idea is that you are number one within a year. Okay. Do we have anybody?
Do I count?
No, you don't count. But instead of, here's the deal. If somebody goes through the 17-day challenge, there is free coaching. I'd love to do this with you. Just download the Harada app and let's do it. If this is, we don't have an example, somebody who wants to share, then I'll go through how I created this PowerPoint and then I'll wrap it up. What do you think?
Sure.
Okay. So I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do with Harada and AI. And I asked this, everything in blue is what I asked. I have a presentation to do tomorrow, 30 minutes. You can misspell, they figure it out. The topic is AI and the Harada Method. Because my AI learned, they know what the Harada Method is about. Okay. So the Harada Method and AI, here's the commonality, a quick overview. And then I said something like, if I go to blue, I said, I would like a visual for the first slide. Can you create it for me? Not bad, right? My next one was, I would like a slide for the Harada Method, a quick overview, developed by Takashi Harada. And I put self-reliance, skill building. So this is it. Create a slide for me. Now I would like a slide on artificial intelligence, a quick overview. And I thought, wow, look at this. Patative recognition. I've never heard that term. I better go look it up. So I said, what is patative recognition? It seems there was a typo. Instead of patative recognition, it really should be pattern recognition. I said, okay, make the change. But instead of removing it, it repeated it. So that's why pattern recognition was there. Okay, there's something missing in this information, I said. And yes, please generate the slide. I want a comparison slide. There it is. It's generated this slide. Then I remembered it wrong. I remembered that you make a 0.1% improvement in 3 years, you double your productivity, but it was really in 2 years that you double your productivity. So it came up all wrong and I had to change it. So 1095 is really 3 years, but that's what I told it. And it came up with an error because I made the error. So I made the change. And then I said, here's an example. I put a picture of Kyle Romaniuk. This is the picture of Kyle. And then I said, create a picture of Kyle and put something in there. And it did it. It created a nice slide for Kyle. Then I said, give me an example of an open window 64 chart for Shohei Ohtani. He wanted to throw the ball, I remember, 99 miles per hour. But he put all these, AI put all these things around it, which was wrong. So I went and looked up his 64 chart and I corrected it. Okay, then it came up with the dream. I wanted 2 examples. So everything here, what is 1.003 to the power of 1095? It came up with the wrong answer.
Just like me.
Yeah, it came up with the wrong answer. I don't know what it does. Use a calculator on these things and always question it. AI does 2 things. One, it hallucinates. My wife was buying something online at an auction sale, and she knows I like comic books, hence Captain Obvious. So she took a picture, uploaded a picture of a paper mask from 1979, and it said it was worth $3,000. And I thought, wow, we should buy that. But it was only worth like $300. Okay, so AI tends to hallucinate. That's what I mean by hallucination. And it'll make simple errors, you got to know. And I said, here's a call to action. I want everybody to join the app and join me in Santorini. So it created a beautiful visual. And I put here the fraction meeting, which is Kyle Romaniuk having a meeting with Raj. And I said, give me a summary of this meeting. And it gave me a summary of the meeting, put the story arc into a visual. It actually did it in HTML. And then I said, here's the visual. I didn't like the color. And I said, my color is really this color for my brand. Can you change the color? And it went ahead and changed the color. And I said, recreate this from the information on example 2. And this is actually Shohei Ohtani. Mm-hmm. Saying when he was 15 years old, he set a path for himself. The key is to set a path like a dream that you want to go after. Again, try to put a timeline on it. So it's a short-term dream. This one was to be number 1 or number 1 draft pick. And he was with the Nippon Ham Fighters. And I said, connect these 2 pictures. Look, they put a story arc together. And this is his actual 64 chart. And I said, look, I want Shohei Ohtani. I don't want this person in there. It went and changed it. Here's another visual. And as I go through this, I say, here, add these 2 visuals, give it this title, do this with it. And all of a sudden, all of these things are getting done through AI. I no longer have to go type. it just gives me the JPEG and so on. So that's the summary. I think that will take up a little bit of time. I got 10 more minutes, I figure.
Well, there's a couple of things I want to go over with you,
Sure.
George. Not the least of which is to get a better understanding of your app for the 17-day Harada app and the method and how people can use that and what they can expect to get that by way of opportunity and
Well, sure.
improvement.
Okay, so here's my app. And when somebody goes in, all they have to do is log in. Just log in. I've got a full course on the Harada Method. I've got a full course on developing leadership skills, which is my book with Jeff Leiker. I'm the publisher of the book. So I put in the audio books and I put in printouts, 75 different documents printed out. So if somebody goes in to here, this is like 75 lessons for leaders. They will see pictures. They will go in, like this one is on good to great. They will see the audio. And by the way, how I suggest from now on everybody does this is don't listen to audio at the regular speed. Your brain works so much faster. So I would listen to audio when I do listen to it at a speed that's much greater. Like it doesn't say it on here, but when you press play, put it at 1.5. Even the videos, these project, my app projects onto a TV. So when you watch the videos and you're just doing that, put it on a speed of 1.5 and just start smoking through this. We download the PDF. So when you download the PDF, you click on this, it'll give you the actual PDF. Okay, and this is yours to keep. And it'll be like, here's a lesson that you can teach your people. You can hand this out to your people, teach the lesson, and after you're done the PDF, let's see, you go down, you get a summary of what's in this, and then you get some bonus questions. What's the one thing you can do this week to make a big difference later? It's for you to answer for yourself. How can you learn something new while helping someone else? Look at that, you get double the points. You're helping someone else and you're learning something new. Well, go observe, go to the Gemba. And I even have some examples. And what matters to you most and how can you make it part of your daily life? As an example, for me, what matters to me most is my horse is trained. So I need to go for a walk every day. This morning I went for a walk. It was 2,500 steps with my horse. So that's a routine I built in. I do this every day now that it's nice out. And by nice, I mean 40 degrees or more in the morning. And then you get a certificate if you do all of those lessons. So how can you go wrong for $75? I mean, it's just amazingly easy to do. Okay.
One of the things that I find so interesting in today's world with the introduction of AI, and as you spoke to, the impact that it's having, is that AI alone and the proper usage thereof will help you accomplish many of the goals that you're after in record time compared to what it would have taken otherwise. And just learning the application of AI in your daily life's activities will greatly enhance much of what you want to do. And you said something earlier, George, that I always like to counterpunch on, and that is the idea that we get all this productivity and people are so much improved, or we don't need as many people in this area because AI can do that, so therefore we don't need as many people. Not only is that short-term thinking, but it negates the opportunity for growth. The people are the ones that are driving your growth. What the AI and the efficiency and the productive use thereof gives you is the opportunity for that growth. Without it, you're going to be much more restrained in getting more productivity out of your people and thereby getting growth. So for me, it's not one or the other, it's both. And I think people lose that or miss that. Does that make sense to you, George?
It does. It's just not going to be people in that certain area. You know, why would you do something? So you want to develop people. And one of the things with the Harada Method, which is just amazing, And I learned this again in Japan. It's not just the Harada method, it's like the Japanese methodology. It's contribute to society and others. Why are we on this earth? We're on this earth to help other people as well, not ourselves. Help yourself go accomplish this. You know, being selfish, it's to be part of the community, part of society, and develop and grow your people. That's your responsibility, I think, as a business owner. So I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Right, right. And, creativity and the opportunity to really bring the magic of who you are to your job, whatever it might be, is not something AI is going to replace anytime soon. So now you get to spend more of your time on that which you really want to, in most cases, where your talents really lie, and less time doing the tedious tasks that make up, in most cases, the bulk of what you do every day, thereby making you more productive and more influential in your work, and certainly within the company that you work for. So to me, there's nothing but opportunity with respect to that. It frees us up to do that with which we're actually good at.
Mm-hmm. One thing I'll say is, let's look at the main message for me is if
Sure.
somebody has a goal, and the goal is not a selfish goal, the goal has purpose for yourself and purpose for others, it's a strong goal.
Right.
As soon as you include others.
Sure.
So that goal and AI go hand in hand when you're trying to solve a problem using AI towards achieving your goal. So this is where we are today. Everybody's being bombarded with, hey, do this challenge. It's 28 days. Take a month off work. Learn about all these AI tools. That's all good. It's all fine and dandy. You need to know what's out there. But I could ask my AI, what other AI tools can I use to solve this problem? What's my plan of attack going forward? That's when I learn AI and I learn the tools. I don't just blanketly go and learn everything. So it's very specific to achieving my goals.
Sure, but just as the case that you gave earlier by way of how you built out your presentation, your ability to do that using AI gave you much more time to be creative and to really speak to the kind of message that you wanted to get across with that overall presentation, instead of,
you got that right.
The doldrums of spending hours and hours creating slides that AI can do for you in moments. So that's, to me, the power of AI and the power of combining Harada and your 17-day course with AI in terms of reaching the goals that you want to reach by way of your personal strengths, talents, and goals.
Yeah, you're right. So when you go into the Harada app and you listen to Dave O'Connor, he says, I can't believe it. When he was talking about AI, when the calculator came out, right? That's how old he is. I was using the slide rules to do calculations to 3 decimal points, but we many times needed 4 decimal points, and it was very difficult. When the scientific calculator came out, it saved us 8 hours a week from calculations alone. So this is what AI is doing. It's going to save you time from accomplishing your goals so you can do other things. Like this morning, I could walk my horse. It was very important to me, very important for the horse to learn how to stay away from me instead of trying to crowd me. So there's lessons I'm trying to teach. And of course, it's going to try to teach me lessons, but I'm the boss. Okay. So this is amazing that I can spend time with my horse this morning before our presentation because AI allows it. Okay, so let's wrap up. You need a coach. The benefits are immeasurable. Your coach will set you on the right path. Plus, as a coach, your student will help you. So I've got a student right now named Scott, and what Scott does for me, he says, George, I want to lose weight. I want to do this. So what about us doing a challenge together, like 10,000 steps every day? Well, I haven't done 10,000 steps in a while. And I did it 2 days in a row. Yesterday I missed because we were below 30. Can't believe it. But I did way better than I thought I would. Okay, so student will challenge the coach too. And there's a famous saying, when the student is ready, the coach will appear. So we've got a list of coaches that, people can choose from. It's free. If they join the app, they get a couple free sessions with their coach so that they can prepare mentally. And this whole preparing your mind for the future is free. The 17-day challenge, it can be done in 4 days. So that's what we've done for students. They get a certificate when they're done, when they use a coach. And at the bottom of every certificate, you'll see, well, you don't see it here. Maybe you see it here. Okay, the certificate is issued in honor of Norman Bodek, whose legacy lives on. Okay, because he's my coach. That's what I put at the bottom of every certificate. I use his signature. He passed away a few years ago at 88, and he was working till the last day, and he was very happy. That's what I'm going to be, happy and working forever, because I love work. Work is my mistress.
I don't call it work. If you love what you're doing, it's not work.
Yeah, but I'm communicating to others. See,
Sure.
They call it work. So I'm communicating in their language. Okay, here's my wrap up. Come to Santorini, September 1st to 5th. Join us at haradacon.com. And there's an AI in manufacturing course available to you. Just download the Harada app and you get this course. And basically, we had time, so I built in how I created the slides for this presentation. And all I did was query AI. But I had an idea of where I wanted to go and what I wanted to teach. So if I had to wrap up, I'd say, number one, the Harada Method is really about using a coach, not being completely self-reliant. I never knew that until I started using a coach. And then my career took off. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you have to have a dream and then find a milestone somewhere in the middle that you can shoot for. And one of the tools is a 64 chart. Definitely use a 64 chart to kind of chart your path. Use a coach. Okay, that's it. Any questions?
Yeah, well, thank you so much, George. That was amazing. And I think using the app and reaching out is the best way for people to move forward and really learn how to put this method to work. And it can work as it has in the examples you've given. Wow, what a difference it'll make.
Absolutely. That's all I got, Thomas. Yeah, thank you so much.
I thank you for giving us your time, George.
Okay.
So important. I'm looking forward to being with you in Santorini. So we are going to have some fun. I just hope that volcano doesn't go off in the meantime.
No. My cousin said it best. Better to be dead in Santorini than alive anywhere else on earth. So I'm not gonna go put that in a quote on a website, but I don't think it's happening.
I think you just did.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, George. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Everybody, and thank you for joining us.